Hey you guys, welcome back to another food prep or meal prep video. You guys have really liked these in the past, so I figured I would go ahead and make another one for you. Today I have a couple different breakfast ideas. I have a really quick and easy meal idea that you can have prepped and ready to go in your fridge, as well as a snack idea. So if any of that interests you, make sure you keep on watching. And if you're new here, consider hitting that little red subscribe button. I would love to have you. I do tons of cooking content on my channel. I do a what's for dinner every single Sunday, so definitely hit that button if you would like to be notified of future videos. But let's go ahead and get meal prepping. So to start off, I am actually just cutting up some strawberries. I'm making my kiddos some strawberry pancakes. I love to include fresh fruit in their pancakes, so here I am just cutting a few of those up and getting them ready to go. So now to start off with actually making the pancakes, here I'm actually making my own buttermilk. So I have a cup and a half of regular milk, and then I'm adding in 4 teaspoons of lemon juice. You can also use vinegar if that's what you have on hand, but this is just gonna sour your milk a little bit, and then I let it sit for a couple of minutes and it makes buttermilk. So really easy tip. And then here I am just cracking 2 eggs into a bowl. I always like to give my eggs a quick little mix before adding in the rest of my ingredients. So here I am also adding in 4 tablespoons of oil. I'm using vegetable oil, but I do actually prefer coconut oil, so that's what I would recommend using. I'm gonna have this recipe linked down below for you guys. And then I'm just dumping in that 1.5 cups of homemade buttermilk. And then here I'm adding in a couple tablespoons of sugar. I do have the amount of sugar just because I don't want to have as much in there. And then I'm also adding in 4 teaspoons of baking powder. I did double this recipe, so if you follow the recipe, you're gonna find the regular measurements for that. And then I did also add in a teaspoon of baking soda, as well as about half a teaspoon of regular salt. And then here I'm adding in a couple cups of whole wheat flour, and then just get all of that mixed together. And then for some extra flavor, I'm adding in probably about 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon and maybe like half a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm just getting all of that mixed together. I did feel like these were a little bit too thick, so I just added in a little bit extra 2% milk, and that kind of thinned it out a little bit. You can go ahead and make them thicker or thinner, just do what you want and make it work for you. And then I'm actually dividing this into 2 separate bowls. So I just did a couple for me, and I'm actually adding in my TEAMI greens powder. I've been trying this out for like the last couple of months, and I do really enjoy it. I especially like it in smoothies, but I wanted to try it out in these pancakes and see what I thought. So this is just a great way to sneak in like extra nutrients. As a busy mom, I definitely do not get all of the nutrients that I should. So I'm always looking for ways to kind of sneak them in. So this was a really awesome way, and I did really like how they turned out. So I will have this product linked for you guys in the description box. I do have a discount code. I will also have that linked down below if you guys are interested, but I was able to make about 3 pancakes with this, and they were really, really good. And then to my kids' version of the pancakes, I'm adding in those chopped up strawberries and just getting all of that mixed together. Now moving on to actually cooking up the pancakes, I'm just spraying a little bit of olive oil onto my griddle, and I do almost always make pancakes on our griddle. I used to just make them in the pan, and I have to say it is so much easier with a griddle. So if you have a family and you haven't made the investment, honestly, it's one of the best purchases. And even my husband agrees with me, and he was very skeptical about me buying a griddle because he thought it was going to just be a pain to store. But seriously, one of the best investments we've ever made. So that's just a little tip if you are a mom, especially if you're busy, which I think all moms are busy. But yeah, definitely recommend this griddle. It has saved my life so many times and made making pancakes so much easier. I was able to make, I think, about 7 or 8 really good sized pancakes for the kiddos, and they really have been enjoying them. A lot of times I do blueberries in there, but they have really liked this strawberry version. So definitely would recommend trying it if you have never made strawberry pancakes before. And then here are those green pancakes that I made for myself. I was able to make 3 of them, and I actually just popped these right into the fridge and ate them over the next couple of days. One of our family's favorite way to eat pancakes that's a little bit on the healthier side is I will just put a little bit of almond butter or peanut butter across the top of the pancakes, and then I slice up a banana and put it on there. It's just a little bit of a healthier alternative to syrup. If you want to try that out, it is really good. That's how I ate my greens pancakes. And then I'm just popping these right into Ziploc bags. I did go ahead and freeze the strawberry ones, and then those green pancakes I just stuck in the fridge and ate over the next couple of days. Next up, I'm actually going to be making a cold tuna noodle salad for my husband for work. He really does not like taking sandwiches for work, so instead of doing that, I decided to make him a cold salad to take with. So I just salted up this water, and then I'm cooking up a whole box of these rotini noodles and getting them all cooked up. And then once those are done, I am just draining them off, and I do like to rinse mine in cold water. This is just going to help the noodles not get all stuck together, so make sure those are all nice and cooled off. And then the dressing for this salad could not be any more simple. I'm cutting up probably right around a 1/4 cup of yellow onion. I am mincing that really nice and fine. I don't want big chunks of onion in this. I just want to keep it really nice and fine for him. And then for my dressing, I'm adding in about a cup of just regular mayonnaise, nothing special with this, just 1 regular cup. And then I have a couple cans of tuna. I would recommend using the stuff in the water instead of the oil. I just feel like it's so much better for a tuna noodle salad. And then I'm adding in that onion that we chopped up earlier. And then go ahead and salt and pepper this to taste. You can go ahead and add more a little bit later. And then I do like to add just a little splash of pickle juice in there. I just really like the flavor that it gives, and then just go ahead and get all of that mixed together. Once you have your dressing all ready to go, you're just going to be adding in those noodles. You can see they don't get stuck together when you have them rinsed off in water. It just makes it so much easier to work with, and the salad turns out so much better. So once you have all of that mixed together, you're going to be adding in probably around a cup of shredded cheese. I'm just using a Colby and Monterey Jack blend. Of course, you can use cheddar or whatever your family's favorite is. And that's going to be it for this super easy tuna noodle salad. You can go ahead and add a little bit more salt and pepper at the end if you like. I did add a little bit more. Just do it to taste and see what your family thinks of it. And because this is going to be for my husband for work, I just decided to go ahead and portion it out right away for him versus sticking a whole giant bowl in the fridge and having to do it every single morning or night. So I was able to get 4 really good servings out of this. You could definitely do it a little bit smaller, but I do like to pack him pretty big lunches because he has a pretty long day at work. So that is what I am doing here. And then I'm just popping those right into the fridge. And I have lunches for him for 4 days of the week, and it was perfect. All right, this next recipe has to be one of my family's favorites. You guys are going to love this one, but we are actually going to be making some freezer breakfast sandwiches. They're super easy to pull together, and I love having them in the freezer for when I want like a really hearty, good protein breakfast. So here I am just starting off by cracking about a dozen eggs into just a regular mixing bowl. And then I am just going to whip those together just a little bit. You don't want them too fluffy, but just kind of break up those yolks a little bit. And then I don't like to go too crazy on seasonings, but I do like to add in a little bit of garlic powder, some pepper, as well as some salt. And then I'm adding in about a 1/3 cup of milk, and then I'm just kind of getting this mixed together. You don't want these eggs whipped by any means. You don't need them like light and fluffy, but just get everything nice and combined together. And then I'm also going to be adding in about a pound of ground sausage. I had this cooked in a pan. This is like a seasoned pork sausage. Of course, you can use whatever kind of sausage that you like, but I'm just adding that into the bowl as well and getting it mixed together. So this is gonna make about 12 sandwiches. So I ended up having to use 2 different casserole dishes for this. I'm just spraying them with a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm dividing out that egg mixture. We're actually gonna be baking this in the oven. It just makes it so much easier so you don't have to stand at your stove cooking eggs for forever by doing like fried eggs or something. I just stuck these into a 350-degree oven for right around like, I think it was around 25 minutes, and that ended up being about right. And then towards the end, I just pulled them out and stuck on a little bit of shredded cheese, and then I stuck them back in for another 5 minutes. I used a combination of Monterey Jack blend on the one, and then on the other eggs I used mozzarella. I definitely would say we prefer like the Monterey Jack ones, but I ran out, so I ended up having to use mozzarella on the other ones, and they did end up turning out really good. So use whatever cheese you prefer, but that is what I did. And then these are going right back in the oven. So this is what they look like when they come out of the oven. You know they're done when the cheese is nice and melted and the eggs are all cooked through. And then here I'm just cutting them into the right size pieces. So I'm using English muffins, so that's kind of the size I was going for. I didn't want the eggs to be like falling out of the sandwich. So you can see I just kind of cut them to the size that I desired, and I did have a little bit of eggs left over, and we just threw those in the fridge and ate them for a quick and easy breakfast. But then once you have those cut up, you're actually going to be removing them onto a cooling rack, and you're going to make sure that these get nice and cool before we actually assemble these sandwiches. Otherwise, if they're too warm, they're going to actually make your buns soggy. So definitely let them cool really well. So like I mentioned, I am using English muffins for this, but you of course could use like plain bagels or whatever you want really. You can do whatever you want for breakfast sandwiches, but I have about a dozen of these. I think I picked them up for right around $3, and it just makes a super easy and a simple breakfast. As you can see, my little toddler, he was trying to get at them. He loves breakfast sandwiches. These are actually one of his favorite breakfasts, and I love sending them with my husband to work. I know he gets a good high protein breakfast that way, so these are really awesome to just have in your freezer for when you need a good hearty breakfast but you don't have time to cook something. So this is what they ended up looking like. Like I mentioned, I was able to get 12 of them, and then I'm just getting these packaged up. All I'm doing is taking some parchment paper and wrapping them up in there, and then I'm just popping them right into a freezer Ziploc bag. And these are gonna keep in your freezer for quite a while. I think the longest they've ever lasted us is maybe a month. We go through them pretty quickly because they're definitely a family favorite in this house, and they're just really easy. So super simple. I just take them right out of the freezer, I pop them into a paper towel, and then I just throw them right in the microwave for probably like 1.5 to 2 minutes. It's going to depend on your microwave, but you're just going to want to microwave them until they get nice and warmed up. So this next snack idea is one that I have shared on my channel before, but we're actually just going to be making some simple cheese sticks. It literally could not get any easier, and I have shared this before, but I did just want to mention it again because it's super simple, and I know I have a lot of new friends on my channel, so I just wanted to share it with you in case you've never thought of doing this. But I'm just taking this huge block of cheese, I believe this was a pound of cheese, and then I'm just cutting this up into cheese sticks. Obviously you can just buy cheese sticks in the store, but this is a lot cheaper to do it this way. And I feel like they're actually a lot better quality too. They just taste better in my opinion, and my husband likes them this way. I'm able to cut them kind of the size that my husband wants, and then that smaller block there, I'm cutting those up even smaller for my son. I don't like to give him a whole cheese stick at one time, so I just cut his a little bit smaller and it works out really well. But that is actually going to wrap up today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines.